take to outlast 2,500 poker players at the World Series?
You need a little bit of luck in this tournament to win it. Nice playing with you.
It sure helps to have Lady Luck on your side.
Give me an ace today.
Ship it to Papa.
To make the final 50, the cards have to fall your way.
What are the chances of such a thing happening?
But even if you're on odd streak, you gotta have game.
You can't win an event without getting lucky, and you can't win an event without being an incredibly good poker player. You have to be both.
You need a dash of wit, an ounce of stamina, and a whole lot of gamble.
When you do that, the good things will happen.
I am all in.
Welcome to the main event of the World Series of Poker, presented by Miller High Life. Only the top 2% of the field remains as we are down to the final 50 players each, hoping to claim the $5 million first prize.
Hello again, everybody. Along with Norman Chad, I'm Lon McCarran. You know, the explosive growth of poker has increased the visibility of the people who play this game. Most notably here at the World Series, the young stars, the women, and the European players. The best among those may be Marcel Luske.
In everyone's lifetime, Lon, they should get a chance to visit Paris, cliff dive off the Amalfi Coast, and play poker with Marcel. He's a one-man band you don't want to miss.
And there is Marcel Luske, wearing the tie again today. I love that. Finished 14th in the main event last year.
John Murphy, the youngest player left in this tournament, attends Santa Barbara City College, a real hotbed of poker these days.
Our featured table now with the blinds, 6,000 and 12,000 and a 2,000 chip ante. And action 2, Marcel. Now on the Miller High Life pocket cam, he shows a Jack-10 unsuited.
Marcel does a lot of song and dance at the table, Lon. It helps his table image to be really loose, and he is aggressive, but people will think he's looser than he is. He plays good cards usually.
32,000. Julian Gardner will fold over to John Murphy. And Murphy with an ace-6 suited, not a powerful hand. Enough to call, though. Rest of the table folding over to Harry Dimitriou. Lives in London, England right now, his third World Series of Poker. He's got a king-queen unsuited.
Kom in de pool, Harry. The water is lovely.
How can you ignore that invitation? Harry Dimitriou will call. Two other players left to act, and they will both fold. 3 to the flop.
You want to split it now, 3 ways?
Chop, chop.
Hey, if I'd known you were going to do that, I would have gone in, okay?
That's Dee Archer, a psychiatrist from Louisiana. And the flop comes down. Jack, ace 3. Murphy finds another ace.
Everyone gets a piece of it. Aces for Murphy, jacks for Luske, and a straight draw for Dimitriou. But it is checked around.
To the turn. Now Murph Dog with 2 pair, aces and 6s.
And he takes command of the hand. But Marcel, figuring nobody has an ace, no one bet the flop, might think his jacks are good enough and he'll bet them.
60,000 chips over to Murphy. He'll just call. Harry Dimitriou doesn't have much of a hand, and he will fold. So 2 now to the river. John Murphy now has the best hand. The checkmark indicates he'll win it if he doesn't fold, and Luske comes out with another 60,000.
Yeah, he figures the deuce didn't help his opponent, and his jacks are probably good enough, but he is not correct in this one.
Call raise.
And Murphy will raise 100,000 more to Luske.
Marcel now wondering if the kid is making a move on him, trying to bluff, or if Murphy made his hand or slow played something. And Marcel decides he's going to give it up.
John Murphy opens up with a win here at the featured table.
Nice.
Murphy's got about 1.7 million chips right now, tops at this table.
I want to get a cheering section like that. Can you move that up? Yeah, no.
Whenever seat 4 wins, you got to cheer him on, too. He's feeling left out.
Cheer for the shrink.
Shrinks are good to have close by, especially in no-limit Texas Hold'em. Here are the Miller High Life rules for Texas Hold'em. Each player is first dealt 2 down cards. A round of betting then occurs as players decide for the first time if they're in or they're out. Then come the community cards with the flop, the turn, and the river with a round of betting after each. In the end, the best 5-card combination wins the hand and takes the pot. John Murphy holding the big hammer here at the featured table. One of the many young players that have played a big role in the World Series of Poker this year. Murphy, 21 years old. Another student in the field, 23-year-old David Williams. He's a senior at SMU, lives in Dallas, Texas.
He hasn't had a whole lot of chips most of this day. Pretty stagnant, unable to get anything going.
If you see David playing, you're going to see David's mother, Shirley Williams, who was supposed to go home earlier but took some extra time off to watch her son advance. And David advances here as he goes all in, gets the other player to fold. He's going to have to start winning a lot bigger pots if he wants to be a big player in this room.
And to be honest with you, Lon, when you travel with your mother, it usually doesn't intimidate the other players.
But it sure makes you feel good. It's like comfort food. And, you know, it works for Daniel Negreanu. Maybe it'll work well for David Williams. Elsewhere on the outer tables, Van Wyn on the left going heads up with Josh Arieh. After the turn card, Wyn is a big favorite with 3 5s. Arieh only has a straight draw.
Arieh, one of the more aggressive players we have seen here in the main event. Wyn, though, his turn to act.
Van Wyn from Toronto, Canada, and he's going to push in a bet of $200,000. Josh Arieh, who's got a lot of chips, but this would be quite a commitment.
I'm all in. A call.
Oh, we got a big game now, the biggest pot so far in the main event.
Oh, wow.
And Josh was caught with his pants down here. He was trapped by Wyn. Josh just has a draw, and he's up against the set. Now, Josh can still knock out Wyn here on the river with a 4 or a 9 to make a straight.
And the river card comes. Oh, it's a 4.
Yeah! Yes! Yes!
Wow. Van Wyn was a 4-1 favorite. Josh Arieh got the 4 on the river, made it straight, and knocks Van Wyn out of this tournament.
Wyn takes a brutal beat. Josh Arieh was nailed in that hand, but luck was on his side.
Arieh, the chip leader with $2.2 million.
The World Series of Poker is brought to you by Milwaukee's Best Light. Milwaukee's Best Light, brewed for a man's taste. And in part by the Toyota Tundra Double Cab, not just big, life-sized. And Harris Entertainment.
Back at the Horseshoe, the Railbirds enjoying the action. We get down under 50 players now.
Looky here, Johnny Chan. You know, when John Daly misses the cut, he doesn't hang around to watch golf the rest of the week.
Well, Johnny's got his eye on this man, Davin Anderson, who holds a pair of aces. He's called the all-in of Jess Kaufman, who has ace-queen in the hole. Kaufman's last 155,000 chips are in the pot.
Kaufman in dire straits, well behind in this hand.
The flop does not help Kaufman. Turn card now, Kaufman has a straight draw.
I hate that when you say straight draw.
A king would keep Kaufman alive in this tournament.
And now the river card. It's a queen. It's not going to be enough for Jess Kaufman, who is eliminated. And Davin Anderson has almost 1 million chips now. He came into this World Series as dead money, but has built himself quite a reputation and is suddenly a very dangerous player here.
I'm Davin Anderson, and they call me the kamikaze Korean.
KG, Korean kamikaze guy.
Did you get that?
A lot of people think I'm kind of a maniac.
Woo! We're gambling!
I was always a hustler and a schemer since I was a little kid.
Think I'm bluffing? You weren't trying to steal from a guy with 2 kids, would you?
I won a $2,500 pot when I was 8 years old.
You can't embarrass me.
I got a picture of myself when I was 17 years old. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll in the 80s. So you can imagine what I put my parents through. Poker is one of the things that you have to really live in the moment.
You gotta have man. You gotta have
I think if I started thinking about what I'm doing and where I'm at,
I might take the rest of the night off.
Start getting overwhelmed, you know. But $5 million would let me have a lot more fun.
This is the greatest tournament in the world!
In his first major tournament, Davin Anderson is living a poker player's dream so far. From the outer tables back to our featured table.
That's right. Well, we're not talking enough. Come on, Marcel. I mean, you're sleeping. You're the leader. You're the leader of our table.
I'm the leader, but every time I start to talk, I lose my money.
Talk? Okay, then talk more.
Murphy doesn't talk a lot, but he just keeps stacking a lot of chips.
And now, looking at a 10-6 offsuit.
Well, he's not going to stack a lot more chips if he's playing 10-6 offsuit.
35,000 chips over to Kevin Schaffel from Florida. Couple of 8s.
Come on.
Oh, and he thinks it's time to take a stand.
It is. Pretty low stacked with pocket pair. Go for it.
Now over to Harry Dimitriou. He's looking at a couple of queens.
Oh, there's a happy all-in camper.
I'll re-raise.
Dimitriou is going to call and more.
And he shouldn't be a happy all-in camper anymore.
Harry Dimitriou
225.
is going to make it 225, trying to get a side pot started with John Murphy.
No, those cards are radioactive now. There's no way he's putting any more chips in.
All right, so it will be Schaffel and Dimitriou to the flop with Schaffel all in.
I'm glad he raised all in. I'd probably have to call that.
Need some major luck here.
That is an understatement. And the flop. And that's big for Dimitriou now with a set of queens.
Well, the 2 8s can come. 2 8s can come. Yeah, no. 2 8s can come. Wait.
Schaffel needs running 8s. I saw it happen once when I was playing at San Quentin.
Oh, wow!
I got the first one.
Oh, he needs one more 8 to win this hand. It's out there.
Oh, 8 of hearts, not the 8 of hearts.
Oh, so close for Kevin Schaffel. The only 8 was the 8 of hearts. He saw the hearts when they came out on the river, but it was a 9, and he is eliminated in 42nd position. Harry Dimitriou eliminates Kevin Schaffel, and now Harry also holding a big hammer here. He has almost 900,000 chips.
Yeah, he's in good stead, Lon. The average chip count in the room right now, about 600,000 for our remaining players.
We move to the outer tables now. Another player who has been consistently strong right here, Greg Raymer, 1.3 million chips. He's made a big bet against this man, Martin Fajo from Canada. And Martin has a couple of 10s, and he is going to move all his chips and raise all in. And Greg Raymer will waste no time with his aces and call that all in.
And Fajo will be a 4-1 underdog as we go to the flop to stay alive here in the main event.
And now the flop comes Jack 9 King. Fajo picks up a straight draw.
I'm out. I would give him a straight.
I'm out.
Oh, Raymer getting down to business, taking the glasses off. The turn cards a 9, 2 pair for each, but Raymer's aces still lead Fajo's 10s.
Fajo can stay alive with a queen for a straight or a 10 for a full house.
And the river card. I think Fajo got the 10.
Well, Raymer loses about a quarter of his chips, but nothing can do but just shake that one off and move on.
Oh, I knew it was coming.
So Martin Fajo enjoying a limelight moment here in his first World Series of Poker, taking a big come-from-behind win against the big stack of Greg Raymer.
It's no fun being unlucky.
We can't complain. Almost 4 days, that's my first really terrible beat.
The World Series of Poker presented by Miller High Life. Main event.
Back inside the Horseshoe Casino in the 35th World Series of Poker at our featured table, a man with a tie, Marcel Luske, ace-4, a couple of clubs.
Where's the action? Yeah, I know. I'm thinking.
Look at Marcel, Lon. I swear, he could eat a full slab of ribs and not get a spot of sauce on his shirt or tie.
But I'm not sold on the hat. I don't know. 32,000 chips from Marcel. Murphy folds over to Mario Zeledon, who was a dentist and card room manager in Costa Rica.
In the morning, he gives you a root canal. In the afternoon, he'll check and raise you.
And Mario, with a king jack suited, is going to move all in with his 126,000 chips. And it's up to Marcel now to act.
How much is the best?
120 around there. 126.
Is that the world, is it? I made up my mind. I can't help it.
Okay. That's good. That's what I want.
Maybe that's what you want. Good luck. Maybe I have 2 overcards.
You got a pair or what?
You get a small pair, I know.
Go ahead.
like
You got a
kids.
small
You go first.
You see, I'm still good.
Well, I like
made
my
up
hand
mind.
too.
I feel good about it.
And now the flop. 10-8-7, Luske with a club draw, but Zeledon picks up an inside straight draw.
They both have sunglasses on top of their baseball caps. That's very big in Costa Rican and Holland.
Turn card is an 8, no help for Mario, who still trails.
9.
A 9 would give him a straight, but a king or a jack also would be good enough for him.
And the river card, a 5 of clubs. Marcel makes his flush and wins the hand. The end of the line from Mario Zeledon.
Elvis! You know the guy outside, Elvis?
Hey, I have to play that. Yeah, I know. Okay.
Is that the reward? Ah.
In a world of great poker players, Marcel Luske is a headliner. He's got the talent, he's fun to watch, and he looks marvelous.
I'm Marcel Luske, and I'm from Holland.
Call from Europe? Who is it?
It's Europe. I was 2 times European champion.
Long live the poker god!
I play quite aggressive, open.
Where's the jack?
Because I feel like I'm on a mission. I want to win the bracelet. To win the World Series of Poker, it takes 7 days. So I brought 7 suits for 7 days. It sounds silly, but I did it because I made up my mind. I want to win this tournament.
I can see it in your eyes. I need someone to talk to. I see it in your eyes.
I was hoping we'd hear him sing today. Action to John Murphy with an ace-jack suited. He'll bet $32,000 over to Harry Dimitriou with a suited king-9. Harry's the epitome of a gambler in a dime store novel, splitting his time in London, Vegas, Monaco, Australia. Makes the call. And it's 2-5 ace. Murphy gets the best of that with a second ace. Harry first act, he checks.
And Murphy checks as we saw him do earlier when he flopped a pair of aces.
And now Dimitriou is out of chances. You see the check mark next to Murphy's name. He's made the best hand. He'll win if he doesn't fold.
But Dimitriou here is just going to try to pick up this pot by betting 60,000, as Marcel did earlier, figuring nobody had an ace when no one bet on the flop.
Murphy with just a call. We go to the river now. 8 of clubs. Now Dimitriou with another chance to bluff at the pot.
This time he declines.
I don't think Murphy will be declining anything here. 100,000.
When you sip a cup of coffee, you have no intention of calling, Lon. Oh, but when you sip it twice, he might be check raising, trust me.
Dimitriou kicks it in. Murphy wins the hand.
And Murphy showing the same pattern he did earlier against Marcel. He checks aces on the flop, lets his opponent bet on the turn, then puts a big bet in on the river. This is one cagey kid.
Now we move to action on the outer tables here at the Horseshoe, and David Williams has just called the all-in bet of Peter Giordano. Giordano right now a 3-1 underdog going to the flop.
And David Williams with the pocket queens.
And David's mom, Shirley, trying to get a better look.
David, on the other hand, like Matthias Anderson, gets very nervous in these situations and backs off.
And the flop, king 10-4. Giordano manages a straight draw.
Well, he'll need a queen, and David Williams already has 2 of those.
Shirley showing a mother's concern. David, meanwhile, doesn't want to look. Now the turn is a 3, no help to Giordano.
To stay alive, Giordano will need the queen for a straight, or an ace would be good enough for him.
Oh, the tension from mom, too much.
David can't stand the heat. He's now stripped down to his shirt.
The river card is a blank for Giordano. David Williams wins the hand, much to mom's delight. And Peter Giordano will be eliminated from this World Series of Poker. David Williams, just one of many young players who are playing on their first World Series of Poker, beginning to make his presence known.
I can't ever watch. Every time I've been on it, I leave. I can't ever watch.
The Toyota Points Leader is brought to you by Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized.
The Toyota Player of the Year leaderboard shows Daniel Negreanu in first, but he could be overtaken by only one man. Chris Jesus Ferguson could win this title should he win the main event, but it's been an up-and-down World Series for the 2000 champ. When we last saw him at our featured table, he caught a miracle card on the river to win it, but hasn't been getting the cards since then.
I want to go back to the TV table.
Jesus will fold his hand to Scott Carpenter, one of the many players in his first World Series of Poker. He's from New York. Jesus has a lot of work to do to get back in this tournament.
And with his hat and shades off, Chris Ferguson looks more tired and mortal than usual.
The other former world champion still playing is Dan Harrington, the winner in '95. There's Matthias Andersson, who has made a significant bet to Harrington, but Dan looks a bit skeptical of the young gun and folds his hand.
Why not this time?
This time you got a hand.
Why not this time?
Matthias does not get the action he was looking for, but flashes the ace at Harrington, confirming Dan's suspicions. A rather quiet victory for Anderson on that hand, in contrast to his usual ear-splitting celebrations.
My name is Matthias Andersson, and I'm from Sweden, and I'm 24. If I bust out someone, I show my happiness. Yes! There are other reasons for it too. Most of it is to relax and maintain focus on my goal. I can understand that some people might get upset or something, but I always shake their hands. Good game. I respect every player, no matter what the names are. But to win a tournament like this, you can't fear anyone. I should not scream like this, I have a cold.
Well, he shouldn't scream like that with or without a cold, but he'll go his way, I'll go mine.
Back to our featured table now, where the life of the party, as always, is Marcel Luske.
You went down. You had more before.
1.7. I think 1.8 actually.
Yeah. 1.5 now. They're coming to get you.
I like how Marcel decides he's going to tend to other people's gardens as well as his own.
Harry Dimitriou will fold. Action over to David Trung in the black shirt. Couple of kings, another player from Canada. A lot of Canadians here at the World Series.
Trung is staying in Scott Fishman's house here in Las Vegas during the series. Brett Jungblut tried that earlier. They weren't good roommates, so now Trung has the guest room.
Marcel Luske with ace-jack unsuited. The bet is $32,000 from Trung to Marcel.
Raise.
Trung is going to see his kings raised. 70,000 more from Marcel. Over to Julian Gardner. He will fold. Gardner finished runner-up in this main event in 2002. And Murphy will fold as well. Now the raise over to Trung.
I raise.
And Trung is going to come right back and re-raise Marcel.
He'll make Marcel sweat a little bit.
It's going to be 210,000 more to Marcel Luske. Is the ace-jack worth it?
Yeah, the ace-jack sort of shrinks in your mind when you have a 210,000 chip bet behind you.
Oh, he's reaching. Nope, not going to do it.
Kings are good. Kings are good.
Is king no good?
Kings.
You got kings?
You have kings. I have queens. Kings are good.
Marcel's too good. I wouldn't even play marbles against him.
I believe you have kings.
You don't believe I have ace king?
No, I don't believe you have ace king and you have kings.
Does he have X-ray vision? Amazing.
The World Series of Poker Tournament of Champions, an ESPN special event. 10 of the world's top rounders will be chosen to ante up for $2 million.
Well, I walk into the room, passing out $100 bills. I'm in this town.
Winner.
Here comes the river card.
Take
the full house.
all.
And that is it. Wow.
The World Series of Poker Tournament of Champions. Tuesday, September 21st at 9 p.m. Only on ESPN. Deal.
back inside the horseshoe for the main event of the 2004 World Series of Poker. $5 million to the last man standing, and Davin Anderson has as good a shot as anyone, despite being a World Series rookie. He's in a hand against Daniel Adelson, and Anderson pushes in a big bet. And Adelson will run away.
Actually, Alon, I'm surprised Davin has lasted this long. He's got a kill or be killed style. So far, he's been able to survive this jungle.
And survived quite well, building a nice stack on this outer table. Also at this table is David Williams, the 23-year-old SMU senior. He's guaranteed to win his tuition money from this event. His mom, Shirley, is thrilled that David can use his scholastic skills to succeed at the poker table.
He's always been very, very intelligent.
I went to a math high school, a math academy in a sense that specialized in math and science.
He has high expectations for himself. He got upset once in school because he got a B on his report card.
But I've tried so hard to maintain good grades and perfect grades.
And I said, honey, it's just a B.
And I applied to a few of the Ivy League schools.
Harvard, Princeton, Cornell, Northwestern. Can't remember the other one.
Stanford.
And he went to Princeton.
But didn't really like the East Coast, didn't really feel at home. I'd been focusing on school so much, I kind of wanted to take a break.
Now he's at SMU.
I'm right at home in Dallas, which makes me feel good. Close to my mom, my friends. I'm almost done with my degree in economics.
He told me he was going to get his master's at Harvard.
Anything I put my mind to, I pretty much make sure I can succeed at.
Whether it be go to Harvard or play poker. I'm proud of him.
David Williams, only 23, but he has been playing poker for 7 years. He's been getting some help here at the World Series from a fellow player, that being Marcel Luske. They had a common friend in Holland, put them together, and Marcel's been tutoring him.
You're in the analyzing business, aren't you?
Psychiatrist.
Yeah. You analyze this?
Analyze this.
Analyze this. I have to analyze it myself sometimes.
I wonder if there's a copay for analyzing your own cards. Marcel's got King Jack unsuited.
2 bets. One for me and one for the Sharks.
And Marcel will bet 32,000 chips with the blinds at 8 and 16,000 now.
And now trying to induce Julian Gardner to put all his chips in.
Make it look like a wave.
You said you'd only raise with aces.
But I might lie. I had a deal with myself. After the break, I'm going to take all the chips from the table. And I have no doubts about it. All of it. I'm going to take the sweet stack, the nice stack, the blue stack, the yellow stack, the colors who are not even there, I'm going to take them.
Lon, if you're going to get beat, you want to get beat by someone like Marcel. It would be a pleasure to give him my chips.
Now the 2 queens of Harry Dimitriou.
How much is it? How do you mean, how much is it?
32,000.
32. Don't be cheeky. Put something in there.
Marcel and Harry, friendly rivals from many games in Europe.
I'll raise. Yes, raise it. How much?
Harry seems to have learned to be able to tune out Marcel and make the right decisions.
100?
100,000 more.
With what? With what this guy would raise 100,000.
With a better hand than yours, Marcel.
Marcel will call the 100 grand.
Call the 100,000. And a check blind.
Checking blind's a nice change-it-up strategy. It often confuses or upsets your opponent.
Now the flop comes King 3-3, Marcel with a pair of kings.
Now remember, he had checked before the flop came out, and Dimitriou checks behind him.
Now the turn card, the 8 of hearts, means only that Dimitriou is running out of chances. Marcel looks like he's going to act.
I don't trust him.
Hey, look in the mirror, pal. You don't trust him.
Well, Harry's going to come back, it looks like. Harry Dimitriou puts out 225,000 chips.
225? I still don't trust him.
This would be a big decision for Marcel. To call it would leave him with less than 200,000 chips.
Call.
And Marcel's going to call it. Got a big pot here at the feature table.
Now remember the song. Give a little bit. Give a little bit of your chips to me.
When Marcel stands up and goes a cappella, he's convinced his read on this hand is correct, that his kings are best.
And now the river card is a 9, and once again, Marcel's read was perfect. The check mark shows he's got the hand won if he doesn't fold.
Just in case I'm scared he's not going to bet it. I bet a little bit.
Well, even a little bit will be almost the remaining chips for Marcel, no matter how much he chooses.
I bet 100,000.
I'm sure he calculated that with Keynesian and Malthusian theory.
Now to Harry. And he makes the call.
King!
And loses the hand.
Good hand. King! Yes, sir! Queen, sir! How did I know? I made him. Give it to me, don't give it to everybody. For me.
Harry lost about half his stack on that hand.
Has anybody ever told you you're crazy?
Well, there's a doctor in the house. Maybe he could use a professional opinion.
I think he needs serious psychotherapy. And I'm his analyst.
I would charge Marcel about $450 an hour.
Well, as Marcel continues to stack his 1 million plus chips, we move forward.
Somebody got a plastic bag?
Can't take them with you.
Play the rush? I play the Rush and the Italians.
Marcel bets 42,000 with his ace-8 suited over to John Murphy,
whose cap is a bit askew. I don't think he plays as well when it's askew, as is indicated by him calling in that position with 6-5 suited.
Don't hesitate now.
Marcel asking for action. They could not fold quicker around the table.
No, yet queens. You could only see queens.
Marcel still patting himself on the back for the read against Harry just a moment ago. But to the flop, it'll be Luske and Murphy. And it comes 9-8 ace, another huge flop for Luske, who has aces and eights.
I check.
He checks. I'm slow playing it, which you might regret if Murphy had a heart.
Now the turn card's an 8, and Marcel with a full boat.
Check again.
Well, now he's going to check it, hoping to get something out of Murphy, but Murphy's got nothing, so Murphy checks.
River card is meaningless. Marcel can't lose the hand unless he folds. He'll bet 60,000 to Murphy.
Murphy's seen more than enough.
I'm naughty. Only full house. Only a full house. Nothing.
Nice little rush Marcel Luske is riding here at our featured table.
The World Series of Poker is brought to you by Milwaukee's Best Light. Milwaukee's Best Light. Brewed for a man's taste. And in part by Levitra. Ask your doctor about it today. Levitra, when it counts. And Harris Entertainment.
About half the field remaining are professional poker players, but many people who came to this year's World Series have real jobs. What do they do in their daylight hours? Well, that's the subject of this edition of The Nuts.
I'm a radiologist.
A patent attorney.
I move furniture.
Say what you will about the game of poker, but in what other sport can the highest honor be bestowed upon a certified public accountant?
I'm a hairstylist.
Well, I used to ride bulls.
I wrote a book on how to be a TV game show winner.
It's a game where your job can also train you for the table. Just ask the math teacher.
Calculating pot odds and implied odds was something that didn't take me long to catch on to.
And who better than a shrink to know how to psych out his opponents?
The ideal is to be able to be totally emotionless.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Whether you have a monster hand or no hand, so people can't tell.
So, as the saying goes,
I'm a commercial airline pilot.
Air traffic controller. I manage Orange County Airport.
The only thing more interesting than a poker player
I'm a no-name actor.
I played Anna in The King and I.
Is the person sitting next to him.
I wrote the first version of Microsoft Word.
I can't work for the man.
And right here at our featured table, Harry Demetriou was trained as a clinical scientist. Then he gave that up, went into trading futures, and now he just plays poker for fun. Couple of aces on the Miller High Life Pocket Camp for Matthew Hilger. And he loves to see those bullets with that short stack that he has in front of him, and he'll bet 65,000.
Wow, that's bigger than the standard raise.
Over to Al Crux. They call him Suntan Al. And he's looking at a couple of tens in the pocket.
Al finished 5th in the main event in 1994.
I'll raise it. I'm going all in.
And Al Crux is going to put all of his 256,000 chips into the pot. Everybody behind him gets out of the way.
Well, Hilger's aces won't be getting out of the way.
I call.
And he will call the all-in.
Oh, wow. That's a good thing Al Crux has a towel on hand. He's going to need a cut man soon, too.
Just sitting around and wait. That's the first hand he's played. Yep. That's the first hand he has played. Yep. He sat down an hour ago.
Obviously, you only play big hand. You only play aces. You only play aces.
That's worked well for him so far.
And just bad luck for Al Crux. He runs into aces when he goes all in.
And the flop is 8, queen, 5, nothing special.
And Crux is going to need a 10 eventually, else he's going to be out of here.
And the turn card, and that throws more dirt on Crux's grave.
He's down to 1 card and 1 card only. It has to be a 10.
Here comes the river. Oh, the 10!
Oh, my God! Oh, wow!
Al seems to be in shock.
Al Crux gets the miracle 10 and wins the hand. And Hilger takes a huge hit.
Oh, what a hand. It's the poker god.
That's the poker, karma.
It's the poker god.
Karma in the universe is with you. Nice hand.
Long live the poker god.
Ain't gonna happen again, I'll tell you that.
Hey, once is enough. Big win for Al Crux. His chip stack now over 550,000. On the outer tables, Matthias Andersson has just called the all-in bet of Ben Johnson. Johnson has a pair of 5s. Matthias, ace-king unsuited as we go to the flop. And the flop comes out king, 8, 9. Matthias gets a pair of kings.
What, too early for Matthias to celebrate? Heck, I've seen him celebrate a good order at Burger King.
Ben Johnson in a lot of trouble. The turn card is a 2. That does not help at all.
Yeah, Ben Johnson needs a 5 now to be surviving.
And the river card. It's a 10. Anderson wins. And Ben Johnson eliminated by Matthias Andersson's kings. We go back over to our featured table. A number of players in the room in a position where they need to start making some big moves, and some big moves real quick, not only to advance in the tournament to be strong though in the next round. Harry Dimitriou was one of them, queen 9 suited. Harry still trying to recover from that big hit he took at the hand of his friend Marcel Luske, and Harry will call the big blind and bet 16,000.
We have a call here.
I know.
I'm just saying that I think we need to do more of that.
D-Arch are not even in the hand, and he's trying to talk Marcel out of a raise.
Marcel with an ace-8 unsuited. He looks tired. He'll make the call.
Marcel Shrink talked him into a call instead of a raise.
Matthew Hilger now.
He is in the big blind.
King 9 suited.
Don't worry about me. Don't worry. You look to me, don't worry about me.
I'm not worried about you.
I'm an honest guy.
Yeah, you're an honest poker player. That's an oxymoron.
I didn't say I'm an honest poker player, I'm an honest guy.
Okay.
What's an oxymoron?
It's like an insightful color announcer, Norm. We go to the flop, 2, 7, 5, all low cards, and Luske's ace high still best. Hilger will check. Over to Dimitriou.
He's thinking, how can I steal this pot?
And I bet you're thinking the same thing.
No, I don't have to steal it.
No, you don't have to steal it. You got it.
I don't have to steal it.
Marcel's read is dead solid perfect again. Harry is trying to figure out how he could steal it, but he's just going to check.
But Marcel bets 50,000 right away.
Hilger, who only plays aces, gets out of it.
To Dimitriou. And he folds also.
At the best hand in the beginning.
Marcel Luske continues to have a firm grip on this table.
Can you give me all those chips, darling? We're in business. We're in business. Harry, it's not personal. You're still going to invite me to the party?
You're still invited on Saturday, Marcel. I'm not out yet.
So I can give you another beat.
I'm in healthy shape, actually. I've still got at least 10 rounds. I've got no problems. I'll double up before the end of the evening.
I know.
If not through you, through someone else.
No,
I promise you.
It's good you declare yourself, not through me.
I'm after all the chips, including yours.
objective continues to be chip accumulation. The bigger the stack, the better your odds are to win. Doubling up by winning your all-in bet, an efficient yet risky move to collect chips. Greg Raymer has been one of the more aggressive players in the room. And once again, he's going to go all in with his 750,000 chips, playing against Josh Arieh.
God, you still got a lot of money.
Arieh and Greg Raymer, fossil men, have been two of the most aggressive players in the room. They're side by side. Josh has 2 million chips. The other players at this table would like to see one of these guys take a chunk of the stack from the other.
I think you're packing at least a pair of 9s.
Josh Arieh decides to fold. Discretion, the better part of valor, and now Greg Raymer is over 1 million chips. This is a heavy-hitting table.
You're saying you raised me and you couldn't beat a pair of 9s.
Both of these fellows love playing the role of table bully. I think either one would prefer that the other one not be at the same table.
Meanwhile, at another table, Chris Ferguson has a big decision to make against Richard Fullerton. With all the cards out on the table, Chris holds a flush that we know would win the hand, but to call Fullerton's bet would mean Chris Ferguson would have to risk everything he has.
Tom McAvoy, the 1983 main event champion, says that no limit hold'em is hours of boredom and moments of sheer terror. Well, this is one of those moments for Chris Ferguson. He has the flush. Chances are it's the winning flush. There's only 2 cards in the deck that his opponent can have to beat him, the king or the jack of clubs. If this was a cash game or a limit game, Chris would make this call almost every time and live with the results, and he'd be right 90% of the time. But this is a no-limit tournament situation. This is for all of his chips. If he's wrong, he's gone.
But Chris is pushing all his chips into the pot and making the call. And now Fullerton turns over the cards, and Chris sees he's won the hand and doubled up. A key moment in the tournament life of Chris Jesus Ferguson.
His legendary math skills had to give away to his instincts there. His math was good, his instincts were pristine.
He went from possible elimination to a big player in this main event with almost 1 million chips. Back over to our featured table with 33 players still vying for the $5 million first prize.
What time is the party, Harry? Saturday.
About 8 in the evening.
I come early because otherwise everything is gone. I know how it goes.
It's very impolite to talk about a party at the table when no one else is invited to it. I'm very disappointed in Marcel.
$5 million on the line. He's talking party.
Doesn't want the hors d'oeuvres to run out.
Matthew Hilger with a king-queen offsuited. Still reeling a bit from that bad beat he took against Al Crooks. Action over to Harry Dimitriou, who's looking at a couple of deuces. And he's thinking about it.
I'm all in.
And he's very confident about it. Harry Dimitriou is going to push all his chips into the pot with deuces.
That's a Marcel-type move, very aggressive with a small pocket pair. And what he's doing is actually putting Hilger all in if Hilger wishes to call.
Hilger has 224,000 chips left in front of him.
You know, I just realized, Lon, Hilger's wearing an ESPN hat. I've got to root for him now.
Okay, I call.
Okay. King, queen, he's going to call the all-in, and it's actually Hilger who is all in.
And he figures it's a coin flip situation, and it is. And let's go, Hilger.
Come on, baby.
Yeah, come on. King or queen, man. King or queen.
Harry with a shot at knocking off another player. Dimitriou, Hilger to the flop. 4, ace, 7, no improvement for either.
That's no help for our guy.
It's not. It's bad
King
news.
or queen. King or queen.
Harry now with a straight draw with a 5 on the turn.
We need a king or a queen on the river, else our guy is out of here.
And the river card's at 10, and that's going to do it. Matt Hilger eliminated by Harry Dimitriou.
No more kings or queens in the deck. They just killed our guy.
Good luck, guys. Good luck.
Meanwhile, Harry's got the chips now to perhaps out Marcel.
I got this big, Marcel.
Who, you?
Well, you haven't got any. That's why you're singing such a high octave.
I take it as a compliment.
Sing soprano.
I take it as a compliment.
You're still invited to the party.
And tonight, the pots were huge and the excitement high, and Greg Raymer's our new chip leader. Yeah! On his heels are Gavin Anderson and Marcel Luske. Yeah! Action Dan Harrington and Chris Jesus Ferguson are still very much alive, and their chip counts are rising.
1 million down, 25 million to go.
And this World Series has taught us not to overlook the young guns. Josh Arieh, David Williams, and John Murphy are all in the top 10 and are not going to let the pressure get to them.
I'll be sleeping like a baby tonight.
Only 32 players left. See you next time for the World Series of Poker.